Inspire with Nendrix, the foundation.
Hey, Embracing Arms community, this is Dr. Danielle Harrison. I'm coming back to you with another 5-minute quickie. I hope you're having an amazing day. It's getting a little warmer out in my neck of the woods, but still cold. But I wanted to share something with you about moving on from relationships and trauma that's associated with relationships. I've been in, I would say, 3 total serious relationships in my life, which included my kid's father, my husband, and an individual who I had been engaged to twice, and then another individual a couple years ago, but that I was actually engaged to. Yeah, I'm just hitting 340, like, just, that's a whole nother conversation. But the bottom line is, how do you move past hurt, and how do you move past relationships when they end, so that you can start to thrive, and that you can start to open yourself up for new opportunities and new love in your life. And one of the things that I am really an advocate for is that when you are trying to heal from trauma, when you are trying to heal from pain and hurt, getting into new relationships is not the answer. It may come, and maybe that person that you're engaging with will help you with your healing. But you have to first try helping yourself before deep diving into new relationships with this expectation that that is what's going to heal you. This person is going to be the answer to your heart mending. Because when that person stops fulfilling that obligation that you've set on them, then there's resentment that happens. There's anger, and there's more trauma. And so if you're in a relationship and you are trying to, or had been in a relationship, and you're trying to move past it to heal, I would recommend that at least for the first year post that relationship ending, that you don't even try to engage in anything new. Because if you have not started the process of healing and centering yourself and identifying how you showed up in that relationship that caused it, because you can't fix that other person, but until you start identifying how you showed up and some of the ways that you may have contributed to the relationship ending, what you're doing ultimately is bringing that baggage into your new space and expecting for this new individual to unpack it nicely and neatly for you. And that's not fair to that new person. And while that new person may say, I got you. I know you've been hurt. I know you've been through trauma, but I'm not going to be the one to give you that trauma. I got you. I'm going to be there for you. What they're not really paying attention to is how heavy that responsibility is, until they feel the weight, and then they start to pull back, and now you're re-traumatized and you're resentful. So my opinion is, when you're coming out of relationships that's been traumatizing, even if it wasn't altogether traumatizing, maybe it was just it was a hard breakup, or a breakup just in general, pause, recenter yourself. Think about, what is it that you absolutely need? What happened in the relationship that caused it to end? How did you contribute to it? And what ways do you want to show up differently or the same, in your next relationship? So getting under a new relationship is not the way to get over an old one. It just isn't. So I just wanted to share that pearl with you. One of the things that I did in my last 31-day journal challenge for Embracing Arms was on the very last day, I asked those people who were dealing with grief and grieving, and grieving is associated also with ending relationships or loss, a sense of loss, right? It doesn't have to be losing a loved one to death. It could be losing someone in a relationship or losing a job, losing an opportunity, but grief is heavy. And so in the last day, I asked people to write a love letter to themselves. And some of them did the love letter within the first 5 minutes. Some of them took about a week to write their love letters. Some of them are still writing their love letters 3 months later. I think that's so critical. Have you written a love letter to yourself? Try it. I think you might like it. That's my 5-minute quickie for you. Until we get together again, go out in the community and embrace someone. They are waiting on you. And remember to continue to live your absolute best life.
This
We're
house.
chillin', having our fun.
Yeah.
Come spend the weekend with us.